All right, guys. 4 minutes. We're back. It's been over a month. We're starting this all over again. Once a week. Today, we're talking about the passion of trading, getting new traders into this. We got a story about how we got into trading. So let's tune in and share this around. It's going to be quite tough. Tons of fun, guys. 4 minutes. See you soon. Right, guys, you better be sharing this with your friend. Retweet it. Share the link on YouTube. We got a minute and a half. Igniting the passion of traders today. We got Emma with us today. We're reading the comments. If you guys want to win a $50,000 Maven trading account, make sure you have really good questions about passion of trading and the expected results and stories. If you guys want to give a story too, feel free. Seconds, we're starting. Check. Good morning, guys. It's been a long time. It's been about a month and a half. We got Emma with us here today, as usual. She's going to be reading along the comments. If you see anything good, Emma, pop it up on the screen. Interrupt me. I might start rambling. That's what I do best. Guys, I want you to keep in the back of your mind, everyone in the audience, what are you willing to give up in order to get the dream that we all have the same dream of becoming that trader, becoming that guy, that girl that gets to sit at home and trade for a couple hours a day, spend time with their family, have the freedom to travel around. What are you willing to give up in order to get that? And guys, I can tell you every single person here on Maven team, including Emma too, she is on the team. I'm going to specifically say that she's given up a lot here as well. Anyways, we've all sacrificed a ton to get here where we are today. And we're going to just discuss a little bit of the stories here. But first, let's look at the market. Okay. And it's been a while since we looked at the market. Guys, we're going to start off with the NASDAQ. High time frames, month and a half. What's changed? Because it's been since middle of December. Good morning, Chris. Hey, thank you, Emma. Yeah, chat's running up. I love it. Everyone's here. We got people on X. We got people on YouTube. We can see all the comments. Cool. Good stuff, guys. Best question gets a $50,000 account from MavenTrading.com. If you guys want to get one without even asking questions, you can go purchase one for as low as $15 as well. Guys, we're looking at the chart right now. And NASDAQ looks pretty good on the monthly candles. We're getting these little bit of wicks, but there's no structure. It's that we were really breaking to the downside. If we scroll all the way back, there's nothing. So what could we be failing? There's not a whole lot. We're just kind of consolidating here. We keep making new green candles. We keep making new highs. But if you're looking at the weekly, little bit of sideways action, inconsistency, but we are seeing these massive wicks on the down side coming back up, getting eaten. And we've seen that exactly with Bitcoin 2 last week after a massive dump at the end of the week. Everyone was panicking. And I think, people were just taking zeros off their account in just a matter of a couple hours, a couple zeros off the account, 15% drop. Guys, if Bitcoin 15% drop scares you, I got news for you when the bear market comes, because it's coming at some point within this year, I would imagine, most likely because we are on the push up. I think most likely we're looking at another push up now that we've seen those buy-offs. And if I jump to Coinbase, where this is the futures market, you can see Bitcoin micro futures. If we jump to Coinbase, you see an even nicer wick off that level. The futures market not as good in determining the best course of action. So you want to use the crypto exchanges. Massive wick off that. If you look at the daily, oh my gosh, look at that buy up. This to me looks like a simple little kiss of that level and a buy up. Guys, I hate to say it. I've been a bear forever here now. I'm a Bitcoin bull again. So that must mean the top is in then if I'm the Bitcoin bull, right? The monthly candle on Bitcoin closed super strong. And that's why we're agreeing that it will go up again, right? We're hoping for another push up where we can then look for exits once again before that massive 80% crash that everyone talks about. That's going to happen at some point. What do you guys think? Is there going to be an 80% crash this time? Now with Bitcoin ETFs all approved, this cycle might be different. We might never see a 50% plus crash again. We might be switching over to the NASDAQ, where NASDAQ sort of style of trading where it just basically goes up forever. And that would be really nice to not have to deal with anything more than 50%. Gold. Let's look at gold. Everyone loves gold. Gold, because times are a little bit tricky. There's been a lot going on in the market in terms of fundamentals. We have President Trump is now in office. There's been the tariff war between Canada and the States, as well as Mexico. There's been a couple other massive news events here that are just causing a little bit of uncertainty, especially with the U.S. So gold is doing well. And when things are iffy, we go to the precious metals because that's the safety net where we can just hold our wealth forever. If you guys are somebody with massive amounts of wealth, that's where you're putting your money most likely. Unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. We're all grinding. Guys, let's get Emma. Do we have any good questions right off the bat before I dive into things here?
I haven't had anything along the lines of our topic or really anything that's relevant to the markets yet. No.
Okay.
So, guys, if you do have a solid question on the topic at hand or question about something specific that Chris is talking about, please pop it up. Like as much as we'd like to answer all questions, we're not going to be answering certain things.
Yeah.
within the chat.
There's a lot of questions, especially when I'm on my live streams trading, and a lot of people ask some crazy things that I definitely cannot respond to.
It's not even just crazy things, it's things that we've talked about so many times in the past, and
That's
stuff,
true.
that we have in our FAQs, or stuff that's super like easy to find. So, you guys are
Yeah.
smart people. You guys can look it up.
Yeah, and we're trying to keep this all new with a new theme every single month. The month theme today, or this month, is, what is it? I think it's love for trading or something. I think it's
Yeah,
some sort of,
it's February. It's the month of
exactly.
hearts and stuff.
Exactly.
So
We're doing romance for trading. Our trading and the markets and the Nasdaq and the Bitcoin is our love for this month. Okay.
the love of the trade. Yeah.
Love of the trade. It's an obsession. It's a progression obsession about trading. It's a rhyming word I wrote down here earlier, so I wanted to say it.
Let's call it passion.
A passion.
Mhm.
Is not, you don't like obsession? All right, I got my notebook. Let's do it.
Obsession gets a little too unhealthy.
Yes, exactly. It's but I would argue that they're very overlapping, and if it wasn't for my passion for trading, I would not be here today. It's been a decade plus of doing this, guys, and the story that I want to start off with here is not the story about how I got here, but rather we need to play the game, right? And when you have a passion for trading, you have a passion for the game. You don't have a passion for making money. Okay. Everyone starts out, they come here, the new traders. This today we're talking about new traders. New traders come into the scene and they say, "Hey, I want to make some money." Right? If you're saying I'm not that person, you're lying. It's every single one of you. It's me, it's Emma too. I know Emma did it. She probably did it like a little bit slower than, I think I might have been a bit more extreme than her. I think she was a little bit eased into it. Every single person comes into trading thinking they're going to make some money pretty quick, right? And then from there, you're either going to quit because you're not going to make money quick, or you're going to be completely passionate about it or obsessed. Okay. And guys, here's the question you got to answer yourself before you're even ready to, to commit is, do you want to play the game? Right. And the game is trading. So what is the game? What does it mean to play the game? Well, one, you got to be obsessed with finding a pattern to beat the game, right? So you keep looking at market, you keep coming up with new ideas. You're not copying what other people are doing and trying to find a strategy. Strategies don't work, right? I say this many times over and over on my streams. I say it on Twitter. I hate it. And a lot of people like to fight with me because they want a strategy that works. There's no strategy that works. There's methodologies that work. There's mindsets that work that allow you to become profitable, right? And then there's certain sort of patterns that you can find that give you an edge over the market, right? But a strategy, I don't like the word strategy. So we got to constantly be looking at the market and trying to figure out, how does this thing work, right? Because the reality is there's nobody who's going to tell you how it works. There's some sort of, hive mind algorithm that's kind of flowing, and the market flows, and you got to figure it out on your own. And once you figure it out, you're done. That's it, right? And you can keep like evolving it a little bit, right? But that's the ultimate obsession, is trying to figure out how to act properly. And I'll tell you this, every single time that I try to go into the day and I said, "Hey, I need to make $200 today," guess what? I lost $200. Okay. Every single time. It's without question. Okay. There's some sort of demon on the back of me, right? That the second I go for the money, I lose it. Right. And it's kind of like, the mantra of building a garden, right? If you're chasing butterflies or money, right? Chasing the butterflies, you're never going to catch them. They're going to fly away. But if you build a garden, they're all going to come to you. So what you're doing is you're practicing those skills that's going to make you be able to attract the money that comes with the trading. So you need to be passionate about the actual trading here. Emma, speak up. What are you throwing on screen here? I'm going in deep.
So, I mean, a couple of these are just kind of agreeing with your methodology and strategy. Someone said to make sure you're not too greedy as well. Someone before was actually asking, while we're on the subject of passion and stuff, I think we're all passionate about what the heck is going to be going on with, especially for us, what's going to go on with the Canadian dollar. Someone was asking what your opinion is on USD CAD for the next month with the tariffs holding on.
Oh my gosh. Let's look at the chart. Quick detour off of our topics. Let's go back to the chart. CAD USD. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Guys, I'm going to show you something really funny here. This is just for my own kicks because I figured this out the other day. My own little kicks, okay? If you went into CAD USD and just decided to, what was it? You just entered in a short 3 months ago, right? Top to bottom, okay? 9.25%. If you went into the S&P, this is actually hilarious, okay? 3 months ago. Which was it? Right here? September? Where's the weekly? Let's do the weekly. September. I think we did September. It was top to bottom. Right? Maybe a little bit. This is creepily close. Is that a word? Creepily?
Yeah, it can be
you're the amount that you're losing on the CAD USD is essentially equivalent to the stock market. So what's actually interesting being Canadians here is our dollar, if we're holding US dollar investments, right, it's skyrocketing compared to the Canadian dollar, right? We do have a nice buyback off of that weekly candle there. And y'all might be wondering, well, is this a level? It actually is. I looked at this earlier. I believe it's a level, right? You can see off of the yearly, these are yearly candles. I don't think you guys have ever looked at the yearly candles in the history. I've never, right? Because it is so rare, but you're seeing a buyback off of that yearly level here. Now, we've had multiple touches already, and it does not look good though. All of this has been, the last year closed absolutely horrendously. That is just a straight down candle. You haven't seen anything like this since 14, right? And potentially we're looking even lower. I think Canadian dollar is looking to go to the lowest it has ever been in history compared to the US dollar. Right. That's all I want to talk about the Canadian dollar.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we're not hitting 2002 levels, but who knows?
For me, so Emma and I have an argument here. We've got a little bit of a beef, and she has some. Yeah, you don't know what the beef is?
I don't entirely know what the beef is. No, I think you have your opinions.
One of many beefs that we have.
We had beef about it.
Emma and I banter every single day. We just text each other back and forth furiously, and that's all we do for work. Arguing about where to put our money. Right? She says Canadian real estate is fine. You know this beef?
I'm not saying just Canadian real estate. I would never put all my money just into Canadian real estate. Let's be clear.
Right. Yeah. So it's interesting because Emma wants the Canadian dollar to go up. I want it to go down because we're getting paid in Bitcoin. We're getting paid in US dollar. Everything that I deal with is US dollar at this point. So when the Canadian dollar goes down, you know, my paycheck's going up, and it's great. And then Emma's investments are going down. So it's a funny give and take back and forth that we have behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, some of them, sure, but like who only invests in one currency? And of all of them, the Canadian dollar. Most people are investing in USD, and I have plenty of stuff in USD, right? So it does balance out ultimately. But I'm always really wary about the Canadian dollar going down the way it does. And, you know, you're looking at friends and family, and all of a sudden their money can't go places the same way it did, like even 6 months ago. And that kind of sucks. So.
Yeah. You'd have to be dumber than a dummy, where you got a good, you could invest in some snow up here.
You know, someone else is agreeing with me here.
Canadian real estate looking good. This is what you get in Canadian real estate. You see on my screen there, Emma? That's what you get. You got to invest in some snow because that's taken off like hotcakes.
I've got plenty of snow here right now. I can look out my window and just see snow. So
yeah, that's what I don't know if you've seen my camera. I switched it to the snow.
Yeah, I saw. We all saw.
Okay, perfect. I'm
Your
not sure.
beautiful view.
Keep up, Emma. Keep up. You got to respond so I know that you've seen it. Guys, let's jump back to it. A little bit of fun. What's the next thing in playing the game? Well, the next thing is becoming the best person you can be, right? It's a passion for improving yourself. The most difficult thing, and everyone says it, is the psychology, the mindset, your emotions, all this stuff. What does that mean? What are you mastering? Well, you're mastering mindfulness. You're mastering the awareness of what do I feel at any given time. Why, noticing that when the trade goes against you, hey, I'm having this feeling that sucks. All right. So how am I going to react to it? Well, you're allowed to feel terrible. That's a data point, right? And that's a good way to look at it. As traders, we like to look at data points. We like to look at trades as data. Okay. So we can also track our emotions as data. So how was I feeling during that trade, right? And I know it sounds, maybe I shouldn't, a guy talking about his emotions here. Maybe it's not, jiving with everyone, but it works. You want to be profitable, you got to talk about your emotions. All right, guys. So we're going to journal those down. We're going to master those. We're going to be aware of those. And then the next time you're feeling, you go in your notebook and you say, hey, I made a profitable trade. Even though I was feeling bad, it went against me and I still came out of it in profit. Well, maybe you can start collecting some data from that and you can, create an aggregate of all that data and know that, whatever you feel doesn't matter. Right. You can use that to kind of create a system that, hey, maybe when I feel bad, other people feel bad and it makes them panic, but I'm not going to. Okay. So when other people panic, maybe that's your opportunity to get in. So you can start questioning yourself here and you can start coming up with all of these ideas. Right. And this is, again, the passion for trading is, an idea. Maybe I'm going to run with that. Right. When I start feeling bad, maybe I shouldn't be in that trade yet. I should be entering when I'm feeling bad. That's another idea. Or, when I start on the flip side, hey, I have another idea now. On the flip side, when I start feeling really good, maybe that's a bad time to be in, right? So we can start questioning all these things and write them down. Right? Bailala. I saw Bailala on there. What was his question? I love that guy.
This wasn't a question. It was a funny, and I thought it was amusing. So.
If FOMO was a person, would they be your ex or your financial advisor? What?
They've always got some good funnies. So you got to throw some stuff up while you're talking.
Yeah, good. Keep the audience entertained while I
exactly. That's my job over here.
If FOMO was a person, who would they be? What do you think? I don't think it'd be either of those people.
Well, I mean, I'm friends with my exes, so I'm good.
If FOMO was a person, I think if FOMO was a person, it'd be a 5-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's very accurate. A 5-year-old boy that's been given like a remote control car.
Yes.
And it's just, yeah.
Yeah. That's good, Emma. That's good.
Yeah. Just destroying everything.
Okay, guys. Yeah. And the next thing in playing the game is that commitment to every single day. The game of it is achievement, right? So if you go back and you think about your younger days, you're playing like World of Warcraft, you're playing whatever you're playing here, Diablo. I don't know the games people play now, Call of Duty, right? All you got achievements, and it kind of clicks with you, right? And there's the dopamine kick every single time. So the game of trading is not the dopamine kicks of the money, but the dopamine kicks of acting as you're supposed to and seeing that advancement. So maybe a potential idea is maybe write down some achievements for yourself, right? What do I want to be able to achieve in non-monetary senses, right? Because again, we're going back to it. It's a passion for trading, not a passion for making money. That's what we're talking about here. The money comes afterwards, after you develop the skills that you have developed, right? Same sort of thing, video games or something like that. You learn how to shoot the gun on Call of Duty. You learn how to play accurately before you end up winning the game. You don't try to win the game. You try to learn to shoot the targets. Right?
So, I mean, on that topic, right? Like when you're trying to develop a passion for trading, you've already talked about the obsession. You don't want to get too obsessive because if you get too obsessive, you're going to mess up. We know that, right? So how do you prevent yourself from being too trigger happy when you're trying to like develop your passion, actually
Yeah.
get really invested in trading rather than the outcome of trading, which is usually money for people.
Exactly. And I think this is a really good strategy to get rid of that trigger happy, shooting too fast is too quick to the trigger, right? Is when you're practicing proper control, and that's what you're doing, right? Instead of practicing trying to make money. Okay, guys, I'm gonna give you a little rundown of just a quick little story here, and then we're gonna talk about the results. Okay. How did I get into trading? Well, it's been 11, 12 years now. I've done 12 years. 2013, we were a video game player, and that's why all of these references are going back to playing video games. The passion for getting those achievements and playing the game all the time and developing that character was tons of fun. Came into Bitcoin, right? Seeing that I could learn how to trade on Bitcoin, make some money on Bitcoin. Of course, as I said, get rich quick. Everyone comes in thinking that they're going to make some money. After that, didn't make any money. And that's how it goes. Everyone goes down the exact same cycle, and you're going to do the same thing. And if you're telling me you're not, too bad. It doesn't work like that. You have to follow the rules. You think you're going to get rich, and then you lose it all, and then you develop the passion. Okay. The fun thing is we played lots of different games. It was a game the entire time. We were mining on school computers, trying to get some Bitcoin. And then we were trying to scalp back and forth. We had a community where we were like trading live together, where we would like go into these like, raids on Bitcoin, where we would try to, it's all games. It's all games. Everything was a game. We're trying to figure out, have fun with it. And that was what really developed the passion, right? Then we start looking at the actual chart and say, hey, we might be able to figure this out. We might be able to be smarter than the market, right? And we start looking at patterns. And of course, again, you start with all these silly things that, cup and handle or something like this that do nothing, right? And eventually you find some sort of way. And the reality is you're playing a game the entire time as you're trying to figure out exactly everything that I had just said prior. Is you've got an obsession or a passion for this self-progression, right? Where you're trying to develop yourself, you're trying to develop some sort of mindset, you're trying to develop a pattern, trying to develop, some sort of understanding that nobody's going to teach you. And that's the great thing about the markets is once you figure it out, nobody taught it to you. You did it on your own, and there's nothing else in the world that does that.
Yeah, it's interesting you talking about experience as well, because Prop for Match, if I recall correctly, they did a survey of a bunch of their traders. And one of the statistics was that 63% of profitable traders have been trading for 3+ years.
Yeah.
So it kind of shows just how much effort and time you have to put into developing.
And these are user reported, I would imagine, eh?
Yes, these are user reported.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the grand majority of traders are in it for the 3 years. And guys, remember the statistic that most people quit within 3-4 months, something like that? Because you know why? They don't get rich quick. 3 months to get rich? What? This is ridiculous. I'm going back to work for the next 50 years. Emma, how did you get into trading?
So I got into trading because essentially I basically watched my parents struggle with money, not like terribly struggle or anything, but it was always one of those pain points within a relationship. So from an early age, I knew I wanted to make sure I made some money, save some money. And then I saved some money. I'm like, oh, okay, well, what can I do with this? And that's kind of how I got into just general investing and trading, because I was like, I need to do something with this. I can't just let it sit here and not do anything. At that time, I was learning properly about inflation. I'm going, well, if I let this sit here, I'm losing money. So that's kind of what forced me into looking into trading and investing, because otherwise you're literally losing money. So
it's amazing to see, because I'm hearing the same thing. You had some sort of pain point throughout, your past, and now you've developed a passion for it in order to, grow the skills of yourself, put yourself in a safer place, which is very familiar, but different means to the same outcome, right?
Yeah.
Guys, let's look at the expected results before we dive into some questions. I'm going to say this. Okay. So we're going to look at prop firm, an expected result off of prop firms. And we're going to do a little, not experiment, but I'm going to just kind of do a math thing here for you guys, right? And we're not gonna do it super. I don't have any fancy chart or anything like this. But basically, the equation is how much is your average payout, right? So if you shoot for $4,000 on your payout, right? You have a $100,000 account. That's a 4% payout, right? What we want to do is calculate. I'm going to pull up the calculator just so I can kind of have a number here, right? So you guys can see. Okay, we're going to pull this up. And these are your expected results. Okay, so let's say you have a 40% pass rate, which is, you may be a pretty good trader if you can pass Maven challenge 40% of the time. Okay, so 40% pass rate, and then let's say you only get a payout 50% of the time once you're funded. Okay, let's say so you times it by 0.5, right? So this is an example, a pretty much realistic example that you only have a 20% chance to get a 4% payout. Okay, so you're going to times that by $4,000 because that's the payout. Okay, so you have $800, and I'm going to show you guys that how this is actually profitable, because these are really realistic numbers for a decent trader, not an amazing trader. Okay, amazing traders can blow this out of the water. Okay, you could pass pretty much every single time if you're an amazing trader, right? But this is, kind of, if you're just going about the day, kind of maybe trading is not your full-time job and you're doing this as a side income. Okay, so this is your expected payout amount for all of your challenges, right? You're going to then subtract the cost of your challenge, right? So 440, okay, and you're going to be left with 360. Now, I did miss one thing, is there is a profit split, right? So if you times that, oops, I did 8.5. How did that happen? So I'm just giving you a quick example off the top of my head, okay? So if you got $640, okay, and then you're going to subtract the cost of the challenge, which is 440 at Maven, okay? So you're making $200 on average after your first payout. Plus, on top of that, you get your cash back after a while if you get 3 payouts, right? So you get it all back. But I'm saying in an ultra conservative situation here, and I'm also not counting your second, third, fourth, fifth payout, right? You're going to make $200 per challenge, okay? Now, this might not sound like too much, but the reality is, let's say you do your first week, okay? First 2 weeks, right? And then you keep that account. You can do it again. And then you make another account with maybe another firm, right? Or you double up on Maven, right? And you start snowballing this. So the next time you're going to get $400, right? And then the next time you're going to get $800, right? And it's just going to keep scaling, basically, right? And that's what you're going to get each sort of week, right? And once you get to that level, the expected results just scale. And this is the name of the game, is it's scaling, right?
Isn't that kind of similar to what that trader that you were talking to the other day was doing, John?
Now, so there are different things you can do. I'm giving you an example that you're just going in and this is kind of what I like doing when I'm trading on prop firms, is I buy a few different challenges, right? And I kind of go through them quickly. So I go through them quickly, expecting that some of them will blow, okay? Alternatively, just because it's faster for me, alternatively, what you can do is just keep one challenge, make sure you pass it, get the payout, and then scale that way. So we just had a trader that actually, there's another trader I had an interview with last night that he made. This is insane, guys. This is insane. He paid $38 for a 10K. Okay. He got a payout of $1,000, right? $1,000. He then took that $1,000 and bought a 100K challenge, right? So he's now got a 100K challenge, and he just made 3 payouts in a row on that 100K challenge without blowing any of them. So that $38 turned into over $5,000. I'm just going to use $5,000 because it's an easy number. So $5,000 divided by 38. So these are kind of your expected results. Is he made a 131x on that return in just a couple months, right? Now, of course, what you're going to do then is then you need to start doing some sort of multi-firm churning thing, because you can't scale much further than 100K accounts. That's pretty much the limit, guys. That's the example. So if you want to know what that formula is, all it is your payout percent chance times how much you're going to get on average in a payout minus the cost of the challenge. And that's your average earnings per challenge. Okay, that makes sense. I'll say it again. Average payout amount times how likely it is for you to get that payout minus the cost of the challenge. Emma, let's get some questions to wrap it up.
Sure. I've just asked chat for some questions. Maven Shorts was asking what trading strategy I use if I use your dumb money concepts strategy.
Emma does not.
I have to say I don't, but I don't really day trade the same way that Hunter does. I do more long-term investing. So
Emma is a very risk-adverse trader. She buys and holds the best things like Canadian snow.
Oh, shush you. I'm still quite up for the year, even with all the markets going down.
It's the best snow you can get in the world.
Who's the better win rate?
Who's a better win rate? Emma does.
I mean, maybe. We don't really know that.
Emma has investing has a very high win rate. Emma, of course, beats me.
If the market was a person, would you date them or block them? Oh, God.
I love that. You're making this fun every day, aren't you? I'm glad you're back.
Yeah. I just saw that pop up and I was like, this. I didn't realize this was specifically for me. No, the market has a lot of big red flags. I would not be dating them.
The market is a bipolar toxic relationship that has the potential to turn into the best relationship of your life, but you got to deal. You got to work through the traumas together. That's what the market is, and it's gonna be 4 or 5 years of pain dealing with all those red flags before it works out. So that's the real question. How many
accounts you blew to become profitable?
None. I became profitable before. Well,
kind of before
it's a silly question because it's kind of weird because prop firms weren't really a thing when I was learning to trade. I think I did like one FTMO challenge and I got decently into it and then blew it. But that was it. And then I was okayly profitable by the time we started Maven, right? So, and that's kind of this inception of prop firms. So, yeah. But I've blown accounts while profitable. I think that's really common. Profitable traders blow accounts. It's very common. I would say the number of people who do not blow accounts is 0. Somebody's going to blow an account eventually because the drawdown is quite tight, and that's just a reality.
Quick question: what strategy can you advise to a day trader who's always trading to recovery?
Always trading to recovery. What do you think that means, Emma? Always trading to recovery.
I mean, I assume always trading to recovery means that you're in drawdown and you're always trying to trade your way back up. But maybe I'm completely incorrect because I am less familiar with these terms.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. It sounds like you're just. It seems like
you're in a loss.
What strategy would you recommend to somebody who's not profitable? Is what I'm hearing, right? Dumb money concepts, of course. It's all I can recommend now, guys.
That's all he recommends. Dumb money concepts every time.
The things you guys want to do when you're developing a day trading strategy, we're talking day trading, is make it very simple, right? The more simple, the better. Okay. And then just master the control over that strategy, because the more complicated it gets, it's going to be more difficult to manage all of those emotions and manage all those variables at once. So super, super simple. If you're a beginner, figure out how to be slightly profitable and then add on to it. Okay. DMC is really magic. Of course it is. Can't get dumber than that.
Someone's asking if you have some kind of retirement strategy.
I'm already retired.
They're calling me old.
Oh, really? Well, good. Because I retired 5 years ago. This is what I'm going to do until the day I die. There's no retirement when you're
you do have a ways to go before typical retirement age. So
typical retirement age, huh?
we're going with typical here. Okay.
I think every single one of us in this market does not want to be typical, right? We don't want to retire at 65. I think that's the whole goal here, right?
I mean, I think that's everyone's goal ultimately. Like everyone would like to retire early, I think.
Exactly. Spend time with the family, be able to raise kids from home, you know. All the beauties of trading, guys. And that's what creates the passion for trading, is true purpose behind everything that we're doing. But the reality is you can't just have a reason to want to be a good trader, become a good trader. You need that obsession, that passion, that drive, that every day in and out, no matter. I wake up at 5 a.m. I feel nauseous every single morning. That sort of stuff, right? Every single morning, it's so early. I'm like, market's about to open. I got to go. I have to, right? Because that's more important than sleep. That's the mindset going into this market, guys.
Yeah.
Any more bangers about passion here that we want to knock off before we wrap up?
This is less about passion. It's between psychology and technical. What do you think is most important in trading?
Oh yeah. I'll tell. They're both most important. First of all, the underrated one is the psychology, and I think I want to say this: when people talk psychology, I think they do it wrong. Everyone talks of psychology in a reactive state. Okay. And this might be useful for someone actually. You know, they always, they go into it and they try to think, okay, how am I supposed to be acting? How am I going to manage these things? Right. And it's more predictive. No, not predictive, proactive, right? Than reactive. So you need to have everything processed beforehand before you go into the market. Where a lot of times I hear this online all the time. Oh, my psychology was bad, or I reacted poorly, right? There shouldn't be any reaction. You should have already processed everything. You should already know exactly what you're going to feel, and then not to react based off of it, right? Does that make sense?
I think the other thing is a lot of people trade, and then when they end up in a bad state, they go back to the psychology, try to learn some psychology, start trading again, ignore the psychology. Like you have to do it consistently every day, even if you're just spending like 10 minutes learning something, taking a break, taking a breather, something. Like you're going to be miles ahead of other people, but it has to be consistent. You can't just go back to it when you're having a bad time.
Emma, you explained that so much more beautifully than I did. Exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
I just take what you say and just like kind of narrow it down a little bit.
It's more a routine. It's not a hey, I over traded today, I got to go fix that. There's no fix for over trading. It's you got something wrong with your routine. That's what it is. Practice consistency, mindfulness, meditation is really good. Breath work, all those things. We had Louise in here back last year, and she talked highly of that stuff. I'll tell you, it does work. Maybe we should give it back in next month.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. So,
Emma, one more?
Yeah, I'm just taking a look through right now. Actually, this one's not a bad one from
What separates traders who pass? Sorry.
You go.
Okay. What separates the traders who we should read it together? What separates the traders who pass through challenges from those who fail repeatedly? Again, it's really the mindset of not. You enter into a state of not caring, and you brush things off as, maybe it doesn't matter, or so there's two things you can do that's going to make you fail repeatedly is, hey, I want that money, right? I'm going to go and get it, right, really fast. Or doesn't matter, I'm just going to do whatever, right? Two mindsets that you struggle with. We're all three of these people. There's three people. There's the calm, cool, collected guy that goes in and says, hey, I don't want to trade today because maybe the market's kind of bad, right? And then there's the guy who's like, I want to make money, right? And then there's the guy who says, it doesn't matter. I've got other things going on, sort of thing. And all three of them are active at once. And you need to, hey, I'm this guy right now. I gotta pay attention. And that's the difference is whenever you're one of these two side guys, the person who makes money repeatedly or doesn't fail the challenges is the guy that walks away when these guys are out, right? And you only go to the market when you're that calm, cool, collected guy. Mm-hmm. Without psychology, it's gambling. Exactly. This guy was the gambling. Was this the gambling guy? I think this is the gambling guy. Left was gambling. This is the cool.
Either way, it's one of the side guys.
this is the cool I don't care guy, and this is the gambler slots machine.
The angel devil analogy.
Yes. Guys, that's the stream. If you guys are interested in getting a challenge, maventraining.com, lowest $15. We have the cheapest challenges, most affordable challenges in the game. Best prop firm. I actually see on prop firm match right now, we are the number one trafficked prop firm on prop firm match for the past 2 months running. That's impressive. Guys, check it out, maventraining.com. If you guys want to win a challenge, we do this every single Tuesday at noon. EST. That is 5 p.m. UTC, 9 a.m. PST. Emma, who won this week? $50,000 challenge given away to one of the best questions.
Yep. I have someone lined up here. It's Discovering Utrikund. So I will just pop on into the chat, let you know that you've won. Please go into our Discord and let them know. I will be sending them your profile so they can verify you.
Congratulations. And if you guys want to win another one on your own, again, join us next week. There's also another couple opportunities inside the Maven Discord. Maven, so the Maven Discord is discord.gg/Maven. Jump in there, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week when we're doing more about passion. We have a special co-host. See if you can guess who it is. A new co-host is joining us next week, guys. I think there's some hints on Twitter somewhere. Okay. Thanks for watching.